there was a prince named Ronald, and Prince Ronald came forward to the forward part of his palace, and the princesses were there as well. And every day, the prince would say nice things to the princess, like, "Your outfit looks lovely."
Your outfit looks lovely.
And she would say, "Thank you."
Thank you.
And she'd say how much she spent on it.
I spent 150. 209.
Wow. And then they'd say, "You look so nice."
You look so nice.
And the prince would say how much he paid for his outfit.
101.
Wow. Well, they were going to be married someday, and they said, "We can't wait to get married."
We can't wait to get married.
But one day, a dragon came and breathed fire all over the village and the castle, destroying almost everything. In fact, it was 2 dragons. It was a Cooper dragon, and the dragons came and they breathed fire and roared. And the people were surprised. Oh, it was an awful confusion. And then the dragons said, "Prince Ronald, you're coming with us."
Prince Ronald, you're coming with us.
And the prince had to go up to the castle tower where he was locked away. The princesses' clothes were burned, and their hair was lit on fire as well, and they looked like a horrible mess. And all they could find to wear was a paper bag. Yep, you just put your head right in it. Oh, they had awful hair. But they said, "We're going to save the prince."
We're going to save the prince.
And so they marched on over to the dragon's castle. And they pulled back the door knocker, and they knocked 3 times. The dragon came to the door and said, "Oh, a princess.
Oh, a princess.
I love to eat princesses,
I love to eat princesses.
but I'm very full.
I'm very full.
Come back another day."
Come back another night.
And they slammed the door. But the princesses pulled back the knocker and they knocked again. The dragon came to the door and said the same thing. He said, "Oh, a princess.
Oh, princess.
I'm not hungry enough.
I'm not hungry enough.
Come back another day."
Come back another day.
Oh, but the princess needed to save the prince, and so she pulled back the door knocker and she knocked 3 times. The dragon came to the door and said, "What?"
What?
And she said, "Is it true that you are the smartest dragon?"
Is it true that you're the smartest dragon?
He very confidently looked at his claws and said,
Yes. Yes.
and then she said, "Is it true that you're the fiercest dragon?"
Is it true that you're the fiercest dragon?
And the dragon said,
Yes.
and she said, "Is it true you can breathe a lot of fire?"
Yeah. Is it true that we can breathe a lot of fire?
And the
Yes.
dragon breathed so much fire that he burned down 10 forests. She jumped up and down and said,
That was amazing! Do it again!
so he did it again. This time he breathed up 50 forests, and they excitedly said,
That was amazing! Do it again!
and he breathed enough fire for 100 forests. And then he tried to breathe fire again, but he couldn't. There was no fire left. He couldn't even singe a meatball, and he went to take a brief rest. Meanwhile, in the castle tower, you go to the castle tower, no? The prince was calling for help and saying, "Somebody save me!
Somebody save me.
I'm locked in a tower!"
I'm locked in a tower.
Well, the princesses were not quite done with the dragon, and so they said, "Hey, dragon,
Hey, dragon!
is it true that you are very fast?"
Is it true that you're very fast?
And he flew around the whole world very fast with his flappy, flappy dragon arms. She jumped up and down and said,
That was amazing! Do it again!
so he did it again. Only this time, he flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. She said,
That was amazing! Do it again!
so he did it again. And this time he made it in just 5 seconds. And then he was so tired that he fell asleep. fell asleep and he was snoring. And she came over. She came over and whispered, but he didn't hear anything, so she whispered it a little bit louder.
Hey, Dragon.
But he didn't wake up, and so she yelled it,
Jay! Dragon!
but he didn't wake up, so she knew it was safe. Meanwhile, the prince was still in the tower, saying, "Somebody help me!
Somebody help me.
I'm trapped in a tower,
I'm trapped in a tower.
and I'm so hungry."
But I'm so hungry.
So she went into the castle and she walked up the spiral staircase. She finally made it to the top of the tower and she said, "Prince, I'm here!"
Prince, I'm
He
here!
rushed over to see her. Come to the front. But then he took one look at her and he pointed at her and he said, "Your hair is a mess
Your hair is a mess.
and your clothes are awful
And your clothes are on.
and you're dirty
And you're dirty.
and you smell like ashes.
And you smell like ash.
Come back when you look like a real princess."
Come back and you look like a real prince.
Well, she flipped some of her unruly hair and said, and she said, "Your hair is lovely
Your hair is lovely.
and your clothes are nice.
And your clothes are nice.
You look like a real prince."
You look like a real prince.
And then she said, "But,"
But you're bomb.
and then she turned towards the audience and she said, "I'm not marrying you."
I'm not marrying you.
And she stomped down the spiral staircase. And then she looked off into the sunset and said, "I'm better off without him." And she skipped off into the sunset gleefully. Meanwhile, the prince was very surprised, and he came to the front of the room and said, "I can't believe it."
I can't believe it.
And he walked down the spiral staircase. And he lived all on his own for the rest of his days. And then the dragon woke up and said, "What happened?"
What happened?
And he looked for the prince in the castle tower. And he said, "Prince,
Prince.
where did he go?"
Where did he go?
And they never found the prince or the princess. The end. My friends, can you please come to the acting line? Put your hand on your belly and take a bow. We have a couple minutes, so we're going to show you a story we made up earlier.